Bam! And welcome back to Fandom Frontier. I am your host, as always, the big, beautiful, bald, badass, handsome Dave. Don't really know if that name's gonna stick, but you know what? That's my name tonight. Shout out, big, beautiful, bald, badass, handsome Dave. Hashtag it. Yeah, guys, welcome back. As you can see, I am now sans hair. I have wrapped filming for Dark Side of the Ring, and I had an absolute blast. I can't get into too much about that, guys, but I will be posting all the details here, as well as on my social media, as I'm allowed to release it. I did sign an NDA, so I'm not allowed to go too much into it, but I had a great time, guys. Honestly, it was so nice to be back with Vice TV. It was so great to work with that cast and crew, and it was just days of filming and stunts that were just so much fun. I was getting light tubes over the head. Guys, I missed it. My wrestling heart was so happy to be back and doing it. And as the title of my favorite Cage the Elephant song says, there ain't no rest for the wicked. I am jumping into my next couple projects. I'm looking at getting signed to a new agency. Guys, life has been good as an actor, and I am so happy to be back with Fandom. But first, let me ask you that $1 million question that I like to ask every episode. So what's up, guys? Please comment below. Let me know what you guys are playing, what you guys are binge watching right now. But yeah, guys, like every horror fan right now who plays video games, I am binging Resident Evil 9 Requiem, and gosh darn it, I am so happy with this game. Now, it's not to say it's not without its flaws. It does have a few flaws. I still do not understand the math where blood plus scrap metal equals bullet. Still beyond me. There's little tiny things that, you know what, it's not taking away from the game. I love the game. The game is perfect in my eyes, and honestly, it might be one of my top 5 favorite installments into Resident Evil. What are the other 4, you might be asking? Well, unfortunately, you can't find that out here, but on April 6th of next month, I know my months, guys, I swear. April 6th next month, I will be joining Myers Corp Cosplay for his very first Resident Evil episode, and I will be their guest host. So yes, guys, you will find out my top 5 favorite Resident Evil games. What are your top 5 favorites? Hit those in the comments below. And remember, guys, like, share, subscribe. All of your support really does mean a whole lot to me, and it just helps me grow this channel. Honestly, I'm going to keep doing this regardless if I get 4 or 400 views a week or a month, sorry. I'm okay with that. I'm having fun doing this, and for all the naysayers, okay, keep saying nay. I'm going to keep doing it. Another thing that we're currently binging right now, and I know we're a little behind on this, and especially with the celebrity guests we do work with, Steph and I are just binge watching Sons of Anarchy right now, and I'm going to be honest with you, it's taken us from about September of last year to now to like almost finish. I think we have like 2 or 3 episodes, and I gotta say, guys, I'm not a fan. I know, right? Like, literally, Mark Boone Jr., who plays Bobby, I literally call Dad, and it's a running joke. I'm not sure if I can do it now because I'm bald, but like, he's literally Dad to me, and like, I just don't like it. It's just like, the first 3 seasons were excellent, don't get me wrong. I did like the first 3 seasons, but then once they came back from Ireland, it felt like the writing was intentionally designed to make us feel so sorry for these good characters they had written, because other characters they had written were just being so intentionally shitty to them. Like, there's just no point. Like, nobody learns anything. And I'm just like, I don't understand, like, how when you were doing like this motorcycle gang that runs drugs, guns, everything, how you don't learn from your mistakes. Like, people around you are getting hurt. You're lying to them, and they still keep doing it, expecting a different outcome. It is literally the textbook definition of insanity under my portrait, of course. But still, you know, it's just, I just don't get it. Like, I watched season 1 originally as it was coming out, and then it's one of those shows I just never kept up with. But working Comic-Con and working with all the crew, I'm just like, you know what, maybe I will watch this. Maybe I will watch. And then Steph worked with Ali Walker, and she's like, we gotta watch this. So I'm like, okay, let's watch Sons of Anarchy finally. Let's sit down and watch it. And I'm a little disappointed. Like, there's so many people that I know and have met from coming up to the table that I'm just not a Sons fan. And I guess I thought it would have been a lot better than what I'm getting. And it's a little disheartening. Like, and don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of stuff that I like. Don't get me wrong. There's so many scenes and so many lines, and there's a couple little tidbits of writing that I do really like. But again, when you're being unintentionally shitty to good characters, it's just not good writing. So everyone told me to hold out till the end, and you know, we're about 2 or 3 episodes away from finishing. And I gotta be honest with you guys, I can't wait to finish this and move on to something else. So like, I really hope this ending is as amazing as everybody has chalked it up to be. And I really hope the next show that we watch is not as much of a letdown. And I hate saying that, but I know a lot because I've talked to a lot of the actors, and I did go into this with a fresh mind after hearing what they've had to say, because again, I don't want that to affect the experience. But from an actor standpoint, quite a few of them really didn't enjoy it as much, and I won't get into who, but I've heard the stories, and it's kind of shocking a little bit. But hey, here's another one. Comment below any show you were hyped for, but severely let down with. And again, mine, guys, Sons of Anarchy. I really wanted to like this. I really wanted to like this. So here's one right now. I did get a viewer question the other week, and I'm really happy to answer this. I won't, for lack of a better word, guys, when I do get viewer questions, I won't mention the person's name, just because of anonymity and whatnot, and I know this person, they do have a family. One of the questions was, how come we're not doing this weekly like we used to do? And as happy as they are with the content, I am so happy to answer this question. Basically, I did answer this in episode 1, but I'm happy to reiterate. It's not that I don't want to do this every week. I would love to have the time to do this every week. But guys, I'm married. I'm starting a family now. I work a full-time job. I'm getting to the point where it's part-time, almost full-time acting now. I'm so busy chasing my dreams, and don't get me wrong, fandom is a dream of mine. I would love to do podcast and this be my day job. This would be amazing. I would love to do this, especially with a co-host one day. But you know what? Right now, guys, I have the time, and especially with how much time it takes to edit this, I just want to give one episode every month my all, because you know what? You guys deserve that. I want to do this for this. And you know what? Maybe one day, if I do win the lottery, if I do make it big as an actor and I can do this full time, I will do an episode every week again, because I do miss that. And maybe one day I will have a co-host. But right now, this is just me. This is me editing everything myself. And I'm happy with once a month. And it's not that I don't want to see you guys and talk to you guys every month, but I also can only stand myself for so long. I can't sit there and listen to my voice every week. As you know, hey, I'm kind of paid to do that sometimes, but you know, guys, I want to be able to give you the best possible content, and at the same time, just give this my all and be relaxed. And at the bottom line, just enjoy it again, because I missed enjoying this, and it's great to be back. And I'm going to remind you every episode how great it is to be back. So yeah, we're here once a month until otherwise, but I'll let you know if it changes. So guys, if you clicked on tonight's episode, you're a big Stompy Monster fan like me. And yes, tonight we are talking all about the wonderful world of Kaiju. So what exactly is a Kaiju? Well, Kaiju is translated from Japanese as strange beast or large monster, often depicted as trampling through a large city or opposing military forces. Now, the best thing about kaijus is they're also a metaphor for whatever's going on in a geopolitical or a socio-economical, or hell, even an ecosystem. You know what I mean, guys? It is an impacting force of nature, and that's how often these giant monsters are described, as a force of nature. Now, you have kaiju. They're not just limited to Japan. The term just comes from Japan. As you'll find out throughout this episode, kaiju is such a vast term when it comes to movies and TV and film and pop culture. Because again, you have kaiju from North America, you have kaiju from Japan, obviously, you have kaiju from China and North Korea, and you even have some from the UK. And again, we'll dive into those a little later tonight, but the overall arcing term of kaiju is strange beast or giant monster. And honestly, guys, this topic has captivated me for years. And I mean years. Like, I blame Ultraman, Power Rangers, Voltron. Again, this is the type of stuff that I grew up with. Anytime there was a giant monster fighting robots, towering over a city, that was a kaiju. And again, prime example, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. When Rita made her monsters grow and the Power Rangers had to get the Megazord, they had to fight in a big city. Now, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? Feel like we've also seen this in our adult life. You're right, Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim is a prime example of an Americanized kaiju. And if you look at the kaiju designs, they look exactly like they would coming straight out of Japan, but they also kept that lovely little tidbit of the robot fighting suits fighting them. And I mean, guys, seriously, when Pacific Rim came out, I was just like, oh, I'm getting all the tinglies here. This is more than just nostalgia, and it's because it is adult Power Rangers. And I loved every minute of it. But again, we will get into Pacific Rim a little bit later. So what makes a great kaiju? Well, everything really. Concept, board game, movie, TV series. Well, that's simple. Just give yourself a big stompy monster and a human cast that, it's there. Doesn't really have a point, but I mean, it's there. Let's face facts. Paying attention to the human story in a kaiju movie that's not why you're there. You're there to see giant monsters and robots fight each other. And honestly, truth be told, when I first started watching it, I used to fast forward through all the human parts. I mean, even still today with the legendary pictures, I really could care less about 11 from a Stranger Things in the Godzilla universe. I really could. But as I grew up, I did start to appreciate a little bit better. Like Shin Godzilla, for example, they did an excellent job of a human storyline that I actually cared about, which is the first time ever. But again, it's not why I'm there. I'm here to see big monsters destroy big city and fight some military or other monsters along the way. And that also brings me to another great point that makes a great kaiju story. Now, some examples of good kaiju concepts are, Godzilla, for example. I'm going to try my best not to mention Godzilla that much because there are other great examples. But, for instance, Godzilla. Some of his best movies is his standalone. He doesn't have any other monsters. He's not fighting any other robots. But you introduce one of those and you're getting more bang for your buck. As much as I do love a good Godzilla storyline, when it is just Godzilla, I find my favorite Godzilla movies is when he's fighting another creature. And another example is Yongari from North Korea, or North or South Korea. It's from Korea. I can't remember which one. I believe it's South Korea. But Yongari was basically a Korean knockoff of Godzilla. And as great as it was, and we'll get into Yongari later because it takes a huge left turn and gets very dark. It is a standalone monster. And as great as it was great to see another rendition of Godzilla, or a Godzilla knockoff, but it was missing something. At that point in Godzilla's franchise, he had the other monsters. He essentially had the Rogues Gallery. So you were getting more monsters and not just Godzilla. So for me, a great kaiju story will feature more than just the central kaiju, but it'll feature an opposing force, not necessarily human, but it could be another monster, could be another robot, could be a force of nature, could be a cosmic force of nature. It could be anything. I just like the duality in a storyline. I think it keeps it interesting. It also, and again, I'll get into it later as part of another question, but I just feel like focusing on one, especially when it's not their introduction for a specific kaiju, it's just okay. Like, it's good, it's enjoyable, you get what you pay for, but it feels like it is lacking something. And that, to me, like I said, like, if you give me a little bit of the balance, again, you have your kaiju, you have your bad guy that isn't necessarily human, I feel like that's a great kaiju story. And then again, sometimes that kaiju becomes a protector. Many times Godzilla has become protector of Earth. Yongari at some point was supposed to be protector of Earth. Gamera, the prehistoric fire-breathing flying turtle from Japan. Again, we'll get into that a little later. He is a protector of Earth. He's actually a protector of children, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I like the idea of having a protector of Earth as well as a destroyer of Earth. And to me, that's a really cool concept. I like where we aren't the main characters of our own story, where we are just a side character that no one cares about while everything else goes haywire around us. So yeah, I kind of have given a few examples here. I'm going to give you 3, and they're not all going to be from Japan. There's only one, and surprisingly, it is not Godzilla. So other than Godzilla, I can think of 3 really great kaiju that aren't necessarily from Japan. One is, the other 2 aren't, but still equally fascinating, and I'm really excited to talk to you guys about this. The first one, obviously, again, talking about Japan, is Gamera. Now, Gamera is a prehistoric flying fire-breathing turtle, and he's got such a wide variety of a background. Sometimes he's a cosmic entity, sometimes he's a guardian of Earth, and it's so crazy, some of the stuff. I've seen times where his head will go back in, and he'll launch like this giant cannon out of his shell. I've seen him brutally like chop up some of the other kaiju he faces. And then I've seen times where his movies are just as equal or just as wholesome as a kid's movie. You know, and that's the really great thing I love about Gamera. His design is so great, especially from his first appearance from 1965 to present. It's iconic, just as similar as Godzilla, but it's just that whole menacing turtle looking thing. If you guys are a fan of TMNT, I compare him a lot to Slash, and who's my personal favorite turtle. But again, it's a kaiju Slash. He just has, again, next to the G-Man, we'll call him now, he has some of the best rogues gallery in kaiju movies. And like, again, one of the shows that I grew up when I was introduced to kaiju was Ultraman. A lot of the kaiju that Gamera faces off against are very Ultraman-esque, and they have that like 60s vibe all the way into the 90s, which is a great look. Like, again, it is an iconic look. Gamera is such an iconic look. They've slowly like put him through the evolutionary ringer just the last decade. And you know what? Like, even some of his original movies, even with that rubber suit, like, it's excellent. There's times where I think Gamera looks better than Godzilla. He's never gone up toe-to-toe against Godzilla, but I think you'd give him a good run for his money. So yeah, Yongari. Oh God, I just watched this movie just this past summer, and what a fever dream this was, guys. So here in Hamilton, there is a thing called Kaiju Summer, and every summer from June, July, and August, they'll show a different kaiju movie. This year, instead of just showing Godzilla, they broke it up and they put Yongari in the middle. And wow! So this was Korea's first attempt at a kaiju movie. And it is, like I said, guys, just a fever dream. It is very heavily human focused. So the human storyline is very, very relevant and very impactful. But it's just, you have kids thinking Yongari is there to protect them while he's killing everything around him. I really can't tell if Yongari is a hero in this or if he's a villain, but the villains by the end of the movie are humans. Humans basically see Yongari as a threat, even though it's just a scared prehistoric lizard, which is true. And they basically gas him. And guys, I apologize if this is too much, but I mean, my wife and I are still trying to wrap our heads on how they defeated him. But they gas him so much that he bleeds to death out his ass. I wish I was joking, but no. I was sitting in the theater with Stephanie, jaw wide open, watching this, like, realistically a pseudo-Godzilla ripoff, just bleeding out of his ass. Like, I'm just like, what the this was marketed towards children. And I'm just like, I think this was like the early 70s. It may have been just 70 when this came out. But yeah, I don't know what to say about this one. This one is obviously it's a must watch, and I do recommend Yongari because it is really great to see Korean cinema, especially when it's in the 1970s, especially when they are trying to jump into this like science fiction kaiju era. And wow, what an attempt. Like, if you could say this was like Squid Game meets Godzilla, you're not far from the truth. Because, guys, it was crazy. Again, though, as I said, this is a very human-focused story. You do see Yongari a fair bit, but I did notice that it was very, very human story. And please, watch it with subtitles and the English sub. You will understand it. And honestly, it is some of the most MXC, like, dubbed like movies I have seen. Like, it is great. Like, some of the dialogue might not even make sense, might not even line up, but it's great. I do recommend it, guys. Yongari for sure. Yeah, what a fever dream. Giant lizards bleeding out their ass. What can I say? My last recommendation, this one's a very obscure one. I'm going to be flat out honest with you guys. It's called Gogoro. So Gogoro, like, I'm butchering the name, is actually the UK's attempt at Godzilla. And it's not very well known, but I highly recommend it because the acting in it is superb. And I mean, it is that classic 70s, 80s, like, grindhouse acting that you'd expect with, like, this menacing, demonic looking version of Godzilla. It's got little flails on the side of it. It's like, it's really disgusting looking in some scenes, and you do see it like Shin Godzilla in different stages of evolution. So I had seen this as a kid, not the movie, but I'd seen little clips of it, and I was just like, I wonder what that is. Me being like the dinosaur kaiju obsessed kid that I was and still am. So I forgot all about it, and I was browsing this great app called Tubi, and I found it, and I watched it one night, and wow. Guys, again, if you want to watch it, Tubi is a completely free app. This is where I actually watch a lot of my kaiju movies, but again, Gogoro or Gorgor, however you want to say this, I do recommend it because, again, it is a really great attempt at a kaiju movie that isn't Japanese. It is an outside of Japan kaiju movie, and you can tell it is an honest to God love letter to the original Godzilla Raids Again, or Gojira, for example. It is just, honestly, the special effects for the 70s, 80s are excellent. Like, I swear by this movie. Like, and again, when people are like, hey, I want a kaiju movie, this is easily one of my top 3 that I do recommend. So again, guys, check Gogoro out on Tubi. I don't want to ruin too much of it because, again, the story is great. And Gorgoro, or I'm gonna just keep butchering it at this point, is just, it's amazing. And for the UK to come up with this at this point in time, fantastic. So I really, really, really had to sit down and think about this one. This is hard. Like, this is hard because, again, you guys have to think, I have been watching kaiju movies since I was like 4 or 5 years old, and there has been a lot of kaiju stuck up in here. Some that people might not even know about. So I sat down and I picked my most impactful kaiju that, when I think of the word kaiju, these are the ones that I think of. So starting off, number 5 spot, I do think of Gamera. I know I've mentioned Gamera obviously prior to this, but Gamera is just so great in design, in story, in flexibility too, because again, and I'm not talking physical flexibility, I'm talking about storyline flexibility, to be able to have both like horror and like kid friendly, as well as comedy, as well as serious moments in a kaiju movie is amazing. And it all just reflects what kind of Gamera you're getting for these movies. So again, just for range alone as an actor, 100% recommend Gamera. For my number 4 spot, this one, I couldn't pick just one from this franchise because I really like all of them, and that is the kaiju from Pacific Rim. The Pacific Rim kaiju were just done so uniquely, but so traditional at the same time, because if you look at all the kaiju from Pacific Rim, they all have elements from Godzilla's Rogues Gallery and Ultraman's Rogues Gallery, and they all just have that beautiful blue, vibrant, like fluorescent vibes to them. Like every little detail about those kaiju are just so beautiful and so iconic, guys. Like I swear, if you haven't seen Pacific Rim, haven't seen the second one, I will say that just because I've heard horrible things about it. But if you guys haven't seen Pacific Rim, 100% recommend Pacific Rim. It's beautiful. It is action packed. Charlie Hunnam's in it. Ron Perlman's in it. Charlie Day, one of my favorite actors of all time. Charlie Day is in it. Again, guys, kaiju from Pacific Rim steal the show. They are stunning. And if you haven't seen them, you don't know what I'm talking about, stop this podcast right now. Go watch Pacific Rim. Come back. And am I right? Right? They're stunning. So this one's a far left reach for you guys, and I really hope a lot of you are excited for this one as I am. But for my number 3 spot, I picked Magmo from War of the Monsters. That's right, guys. I am jumping from the screen, well, still the screen, but to the video game era of kaiju. Now, War of the Monsters was an excellent game created for PlayStation 2. You can now download it for PS5, and I, of course, have it. But it was like Rampage, but done in a 3D environment where you get to play as these iconic looking kaiju that are just love letters to all different kaiju movies, and they are excellent. But Magmo is my favorite. He was born out of a volcano. He's got 4 arms. He, to me, has the best alternate costumes, next to Agamo, who has like the Sweet Tooth one, because I really do love Twisted Metal, and I do love that Sweet Tooth costume. But yeah, guys, Magmo, he has one of the best finishers. He has one of the best storylines. He was born, an alien ship crash lands inside of a volcano. It leaks his fuel, and it awakens this deity, and it's awesome. If you guys haven't tried out War of the Monsters, I highly recommend it. It is one of those forgotten titles. It was actually a greatest hit for PlayStation. And honestly, if you are a kaiju lover such as myself, you deserve to try this game out. And remember, try Magmo out, because Magmo is awesome. Okay, like, did you really expect that I wasn't gonna put him on this list? My number 2 spot is obviously Godzilla. And I can't just say any particular one, but if I did have to particular one, I would have to have it as a tie between the classic 60s one, my guy Kevin, and the Shin Godzilla. What that 60s Godzilla represents is just amazing. So some of you don't know, Godzilla was created out of the horrors from Hiroshima. They saw the Hiroshima nuke as the destruction of the destructive force of nature. So they capitalized on that, and they created Godzilla. And that's why Godzilla has all these ties to the atomic, like radiation and atomic breath and the atom. Like, he has so many ties to the atom. It's because it was born from the Hiroshima bomb. In the 60s Godzilla, like, just for back then and how far they carried that 50s, 60s Godzilla costume, it's amazing. It is a work of art. I, on my bucket list, would love to go visit the Godzilla Museum and see this suit in person, because it's still there. It's deteriorating. I'm running out of time, and I would love to go see this suit. Now, the reason why I picked Shin Godzilla as a tie with the classic, it's because you get to see it evolve. It is so creepy and disturbing and like very zombie and dead-like, but so destructive. This is one of those examples where Godzilla didn't need another monster to support its story. Very similar to Godzilla -1. But this Godzilla is just so horrifying, and I love that because this was Godzilla's attempt at its first foray into horror, kind of. The human story is actually excellent. It centers around the Japanese government trying to save its civilians, trying to make sense of what Godzilla actually is. And in the end, they determine that he's an actual god. There's no stopping him. They just temporarily delay him, and that's how they stop. I love that aspect, and it ends on such a cliffhanger that I'm so sad that they never did anything else with it. But at the same time, I'm also a big believer that when you do something right, sometimes it just doesn't merit a sequel. And again, if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Please watch it with the English sub. It does make a little bit more sense. It is easier to follow. But I do highly recommend Shin Godzilla, especially the original Godzilla movie, Gojira. These are my number 2s, obviously, but yeah. So if they're my number 2, what's my number 1? For my number 1, I picked a Godzilla rogue, and not just the rogue, but the big bad himself, Destroya. I cannot begin to summarize how much I love Destroya. So Destroya was actually made from particles from the original oxygen bomb that killed Godzilla. It reformed and created like this Destroya egg, which hatched into these Destroya crabs, and they can reform into this giant being known as Destroya. And this is what he looks terrifying, and I love him for it. This movie was so dark because one storyline you had Destroya terrorizing Japan, but the other storyline you had Godzilla who was dying, and not just like some new Godzilla, but like the OG Godzilla. Like the radiation was leaking out of him. Like he was like, you could see his chest glowing red. Like he was glowing red and shooting steam off. Like he was dying. And like his last match was against Destroya. And this is before Godzilla. They actually pay homage to this in Godzilla King of the Monsters when Godzilla goes nuclear. And they had him, like he was in rough shape, and that's how they defeated Destroya, was Godzilla going nuclear. And it's an amazing story because you see the death and rebirth of Godzilla, because Godzilla Jr. becomes Godzilla, but you get this unbelievable, unrelenting force known as Destroya, who literally looks like the devil himself. He is the devil himself to Godzilla, and it's amazing. Honestly, the design of every form of Destroya is just beautiful and haunting and just menacing, and that's what I want as a villain for Godzilla. Even Destroya towered over Godzilla. The only other creature to do that was Biolanta, and just Destroya's menacing look and what the story brought was just amazing. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, watch Godzilla vs. Destroya. Wow. Probably one of my favorite movies from the 90s series of Godzilla. Can't recommend it enough. And for that reason, Destroya is my number 1. And for that, Destroya is my number 1 kaiju of all time, just for look, design, his overall aura, everything. Just Destroya is just a pure badass. So yeah, if you guys are looking to start into the kaiju universe of movies, I have a few recommendations for you. As I've mentioned, I highly recommend Pacific Rim. Going into the first movie, you really don't need to know much. Big monsters, big robots, fighty, 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 fighty. That's it. Enjoy the movie. Enjoy the ride. It's a crazy trip. Charlie Day is fantastic in it. The next one that I would recommend is actually not just one movie per se. I would recommend the first movie in the series, and that would be the Godzilla 2014 one. It is with Bryan Cranston and Aaron Taylor Johnson. I do love this movie. It is an excellent introduction into an Americanized Godzilla. I know a lot of people are going to come at me for this one because a lot of people don't like the Americanized Godzilla, and I I love the Americanized Godzilla, what it's done for the franchise as a whole, and it's just reignited that popularity and that love for Godzilla. And I mean, mine's never gone away, but I gotta tell you guys, I love what the 2014 Godzilla was, and I still do. I can't wait to show my kids that one day. But yeah, 100% Godzilla 2014 from the MonsterVerse. And while you're at it, watch the rest of the MonsterVerse stuff. It is excellent, from the rest of the Godzilla movies to Kong of Skull Island to Monarch. Monarch Legacy of Monsters is incredible. But yeah, guys, highly recommend Godzilla 2014. The last one is a no-brainer, guys. I highly recommend Gojira/Godzilla, whichever one you find. I do recommend it. It does have two names because, again, the Japanese went by Gojira, which is the original name of Godzilla, but the American audience did Americanize it and call it Godzilla. It is a 1955 movie, so it is in black and white, but to see what they did post the Hiroshima bomb is amazing. Again, guys, like this, you have to remember what time period this movie came out in, and the horror and the beauty and just the creation of this is just stunning, and it should be studied more as a piece of film history, just because of that time period and what they were able to do. Again, I believe this one is also on Tubi. I highly recommend Tubi, guys. If you're looking for these movies, check out Tubi. By no way does Tubi sponsor me, but it is one of the best streaming platforms. It is completely free, and the catalog, guys, is impeccable. I highly recommend it. So yeah, you didn't think I did have any games for this, but I totally do. I have mentioned one, 100% War of the Monsters. This is it right here, guys. If you get a chance to, check it out. War of the Monsters is absolutely incredible. It's got some of the best mini games. If you loved Rampage, and if you love Godzilla movies, or any Kaiju movies for that matter, check out War of the Monsters. It is a love letter to everything Kaiju, and it is so much fun. If you're looking for a tabletop game, I know a lot of people thought I was going to go, there's that one, and I'm forgetting the name of it now, but the one that I am going with is the Funko Godzilla tabletop game. Guys, I will tell you this much going into it. It is very difficult. It is a hard game to learn, but when you learn it, it is so much fun. You have a little hexagon-shaped board. You can either play as Godzilla, King Ghidorah, Rodan, or Ghidorah, however you want to say it, or Mothra. And you have three choices. Oh, sorry, and you also have Megalon in there. So you have 5 choices. I apologize. And again, guys, it is a great game where you have to fight Kaiju, destroy a city, and the person who has inflicted the most damage is the winner. It does sound pretty simple, but again, you also play with decks of cards that help your Kaiju fight other Kaiju or destroy the city. So I do highly recommend really sitting down and playing this with the YouTube how to play. I did that, and it is a lot easier to learn that way. So guys, this is it right here. Check it out. It is a lot of fun. That's right, guys. Just because we're doing big stompy monsters doesn't mean we're not escaping book club. In tonight's episode of book club, I highly recommend Godzilla, the World of Monsters. Yeah, guys, this one was a random pickup for me. I wanted to start reading more Godzilla comics. I obviously collect like the crossover ones, as you saw a couple episodes ago. I do really enjoy the crossover Godzilla stuff because, again, you get to see him interacting with more characters. This graphic novel series obviously focuses more on Godzilla. You have a human-based storyline that does captivate a lot of people, and it is very well written, but you have excellent appearances from Biolanta, King Ghidorah, Godzilla himself, and you have a huge strike force of just Mecha Godzilla. So yeah, guys, like, you're really getting a little bit of everything throughout his rogues gallery, as well as a great Godzilla story. The human story, like I said, sometimes it really doesn't hit. This one's really interesting. It's very mob-based in the first one, but the last story in the series I really enjoy. It is a post-apocalyptic world centered in Japan, surprise, surprise, but it's basically saying the kaiju took over the earth and there's just little pockets of humanity and they're just trying to survive and live in this world of kaiju. It is a really good story. I actually did not think I would care so much for it. Because again, I'm here for the big stompies, not so much the person. But I was here for the person for once. So yeah, guys, this is an excellent story. This has been out for quite a while. If I'm not mistaken, this ran from 2019 to 2020. So this is pretty easy accessible. I got my copy at Nerdcore, of course. But I sat down and I finished it within an hour because I couldn't put it down. It was really, really good. And it does have a couple little love letters and little Easter eggs and a bunch of mentions to the previous Godzilla movies and little callbacks. And it's excellent. So yeah, guys, if you get a chance to, definitely pick it up if you're in the mood to read a little bit more about kaiju. But yeah, that's it for book club tonight. Pretty short and sweet, but the monsters are big and tall. But here's a quick word from our sponsors. If you guys loved the music for the intro as well as the backtrack for this podcast, now check out Me For Real. He's got an amazing Spotify playlist as well as his skills and animation are absolutely amazing. Click the links in the description below to check out to see what Me For Real is up to these days. Hey kids, Handsome Dave here from Fandom Frontier. Hey, do you like shirts like this? Or even like this? Or how about even this? Actually, I'm not even Gen X. I can just relate to the lifestyle. I'm gonna wear it. It's cool. Well, look no further. Check out Nerdcore right here in Hamilton on Ottawa Street. Nerdcore has all the answers for all your nerdy needs. Nerdcore is fully stocked and loaded to meet all those nerdy needs with a massive variety of comics, both new and collectible, toys, clothing, and many more collectibles. It's hard not to complete any collection you've been working on the minute you walk in. Nerdcore also specializes in printed t-shirts, tote bags, ranging from your favorite fandoms, the most insane crossovers, and the most nostalgic throwbacks. Nerdcore is located at 21 Ottawa Street North in Hamilton, Ontario. Follow them at The Real Nerdcore Hamilton on Instagram. So, if you're looking for that perfect gift to blow the mind of a certain someone, or how about in the mood to treat yourself, Nerdcore, your neighborhood pop culture shop. The sun is getting low in the sky, so put away your dice, power down your consoles, and tuck away those swords. You've traveled far on your adventures, now rest your weary heads. Good night, folks, because I gotta pee.